what's up guys, it's Talon. So today we're going to be going over the new Diana rework with you guys and showing you a gameplay and just kind of talking about the ways to play Diana. So the first thing is you'll see how I actually start on Krugs here, unlike red buff, which I normally start on a lot of other champions, and that's because Diana is not the fastest clear speed, so I kind of like starting Krugs here just to get a bit extra speed on my first clear. You can still do the red buff start if you want, but it's just a bit faster this way, so I kind of prefer it for Diana. Especially because Diana really cares about her first clear being fast, because then you can recall for mana boots as quick as possible and then kind of play around that spike, because once you get the mana boot spike, you're really strong. And so a lot of times I actually will just full clear, I'll ignore scuttle, depending on if I can get the scuttle pretty easily or not, and then I will just go straight for the recall for mana boots. But obviously, if you guys don't know the Diana rework, the ultimate now you can move while ulting, and it charges up like automatically once you tap it. And so you have to be in range of someone to ult them, and you can only click it if you're in range. But it's pretty OP now. Like, Diana is really nuts right now. One of the best, probably the best AP jungle. Actually, Warwick's probably the best AP jungle, but probably the second best AP jungle right now is Diana. She's extremely strong for sure. And so we're going to show you guys kind of the new rework a lot in this gameplay here. And so you can see how I'm just going for the full clear instead of going for the scuttle there, because like I said, I care more about at least getting the level 4, and then we kind of just see from there like what we can end up getting. So obviously I see my team fighting in the top side as well, so I'm like seeing that there's a potential of me wanting to go there, since I see everyone's very low. And then once we see the Hecarim go there, I want to make sure I avoid him on vision. But then you're going to notice a nice thing I do here, which is I'm going to first ability a minion to reset my dash and then dash onto the enemy here. So just watch how I do this, so then I can gap close really quickly there. And then here is where we get the ultimate off. You can see the new ultimate. I'm able to auto attack him while ulting, which was pretty interesting. And then we just pushed the wave out since it was already pushing. Might as well get that and then recall. So early on, very strong. We're already able to hit mana boots plus pendant. I think for me, the best build that I've been kind of preferring is Infinity Orb, Soul Stealer, Death Cap, Crown, and then Lichbane. But you can also go Nashor's Riftmaker, Death Cap, Crown type of build if you want, if the enemy are more tanky, and you can go Conquer instead of Electrocute for that type of a build. You could also go Lichbane second instead of Soul Stealer second. There's kind of a lot of options, and a lot of them are pretty good on Diana, so I really don't mind any of those options that I said to you guys. And then for the runes, Sudden Impact is really valuable, so I go that as my extra rune. And then I go Gathering Storm, Giant Slayer, and Legend Alacrity as well. So those are all really good. I don't know why Kale ulted me here. Didn't really need the ult on them, but you saw we got another kill on the Hecarim as well there. So I'm very strong at this point in the game, pretty early on. But the team is a bit behind still in the rest of the lane, so still a pretty tough game here. But overall, again, the main focus for Diana really is farming and getting 2-3 items. That's kind of the main value that your champion has, is once you get more fed. So kind of just play like I am, where I'm just focusing on farm, and then if I see a free gank opportunity, I'm taking it. But otherwise, I'm just going to be farming and making sure that I get as much gold as possible. And when you do have an early game that goes this well, you really want to make sure that you can try to hit your entire first item. So try to hit Infinity Orb plus mana boots. That's pretty hard. Typically, you're just going to get mana boots pendant is going to be the main value. And then here I'm looking to invade him because I saw Hecarim go on bot side, so I know I have some time for a free invade, which is why you see me do this here. And then this allows me as well to get to that Infinity Orb pretty soon, because then I'm just going to go and clear my camps afterwards. I tried to see if these camps are up. We ended up getting one of the small raptors from him as well. And then we go back to farming. So you can see how we just got that extra little camp there, since Hecarim spent a bit of extra time there, and we're just able to get a really strong lead early game. And Diana, I mean, she's not a bad early game champion. Again, once you get that mana boots recall, before mana boots, you're going to be kind of weak. So that's why I'm really trying to play around that, because then once you get that recall, you have decent damage and ganking with your dash resets and everything like that. And then here, honestly, in hindsight, I shouldn't have even wasted my time here. But actually, I think it might end up working out now that I remember. I think they end up going pretty aggressive here. So I guess it kind of did work out. We get the double kill here. So we get very fed early game. I mean, 5 kills already is pretty insane. And then we get that recall. So I guess it ended up actually working out nicely that we stayed. And Orianna, very mean of her. Don't like that she did this to me. Really not a fan of the Orianna here. I should have just flashed on her and tried to kill her just to send a message. But she did a good job of stopping my recall, so now I end up being a bit late. And then I think we end up just going for the Soul Stealer here, like I said. And now I was kind of confused as to which lane to play around, to be honest with you, because the Kale obviously not going to be very useful in this fight, but my team was also recalling on top side and kind of weak, so I end up just farming here and then using the thing to see if the Hecarim ends up being there. I do see him there, and so I'm not able to get the steal, and then we just go over to the dragon afterwards. So honestly, I was a bit confused, like I said there, on really what I should have done, but I think in hindsight, dragon would have been a nice, just like simple thing to go for. But I do think we're still able to get to dragon in the end, so it still worked out decently well. Kale here unfortunately dies, but I think Camille died? No, Camille did end up living there, so a little unfortunate as well. Another good thing about Diana is she's really good at smiting. If you use your first ability plus third ability, and you get your big auto attack as well, then she's just going to do a ton of damage. Speaking of the rework, by the way, there's another thing they changed, which is her passive, whereas her passive used to be if you use an ability, your next 3 auto attacks would have bonus attack speed. Now you get the bonus attack speed for the next 4 seconds after using abilities. So that's another buff to her. So she's just overall really, really nuts right now because they buffed the ultimate damage. You can move while ulting, and then that new passive. So just overall, Diana, again, very good clear speed, very strong. But you can see here I'm kind of the only one with any amount of gold in this game. And so we're going to have a lot of problems later on in the game because of the fact that we don't really have anyone else who's strong. But here we end up going for the Camille here, trying to get the reset. We do get it, and then we ult here. You can see how I'm ulting while auto-attacking and moving, which is pretty crazy. And we get the kill to Camille, or to Kale. And another important thing to note here is that we go for the turret plates right after, because we know the enemy are on the opposite side. So we can just easily get this entire turret, which is a bunch of value, insane amounts of gold. Just overall a very, very good start to the early game. But you can see I'm 5-0. Nobody else on my team is really very strong, and the enemy still have more kills than us. So we just got to keep focusing on farming and getting as much gold as we can, and then hopefully being able to carry the team fights by one-shotting the enemy. So here we go onto the Orianna as well. That's a nice thing you can do as well. Normally, obviously, you want to get your first ability on someone before you dash onto them. Here I get caught out here, so a little bit of an overextension as well. But you want to typically use your first ability before dashing onto someone, obviously, because then you can get the reset. But if you know that the enemy are low enough to one-shot them, you can just instantly third ability and then second ability yourself, because that will be quicker in terms of the damage that you get off, whereas it takes a bit longer to wait for the Q to hit if you do it that way. And also, if you guys don't know, QWE, first ability is Q, second ability is W, and third ability is E. I know some people are confused. It's a PC League term. I don't even play PC, but it just sounds better, so I say that when I'm talking about abilities. So if that ever has confused you, just so you know, that's what I mean by that. But again, team getting caught out here, so we just end up going right back to farming. And I kind of want to show you guys this game too, because some games you just, you play to farm, you play to get as strong as possible, and then your team ends up just not doing very well, and it's a really rough game. And so kind of just wanted to show you guys that as well. Kind of this happens even, in the highest elos. Every player, at some point, you're just going to have a bunch of losing lanes, and you're not always just going to straight up be able to win when that happens. So again, we're just continuing to farm, get as much gold in ourselves as possible, and you'll see some of the damage that we'll have later on in the game once we hit especially death cap. It's pretty absurd damage. So you see how I'm even taking the wave here when it comes. I'm just trying to get death cap as quick as possible, because if I'm able to hit that, I can really kind of 1v9 people in fights. So we're going to recall, spend our gold, and then come right back. And again, you see how kind of my entire team, they're fighting in mid, they're trying to do something. I'm not worried about that because there's no objective up, there's nothing I can really do to help that. I'd rather just continue to get stronger, because I know death cap is going to be the most likely time that I can maybe carry a fight. And so that's really going to be the goal here. And you're going to see some mistakes later on in the game as well as just the fact that, our team is obviously very behind. So, it's definitely a close game and an interesting game. As it gets later on in the game, you see how I instantly do the dash as I was talking about earlier, and then I try to ult him. We do end up getting him there again. You can see the ultimate is pretty OP for catching people out like that, because now you can actually follow them and walk with them. So that's pretty absurd. And then we get this wave to get death cap, and now obviously I am just absurdly strong. I mean, even the damage there you saw on Hecarim was pretty nuts. So hitting this spike before second dragon is pretty insane. I think I end up dying here though. We end up dashing through her W there, and then kind of outplaying her actually, now that I remember, playing around the resets there. So that's pretty nice outplays by us there to end up killing the Camille. I thought I ended up dying there. I guess I was mistaken. Looks like she didn't have the ult there. And so now hitting death cap again. After this, I'm going to want to go for stasis because of the Camille ult. I'm kind of worried about that. I'm also trying to go for crown. Camille ult again is really useful into those types of things. And when you're ahead, crown is a really nice item to kind of protect yourself. And so this is going to be pretty much one of the strongest points in the game. So I'm definitely trying to fight at this dragon. Anytime you hit death cap on an AP champion, you're usually going to want to be trying to find ways to fight after that, because it's just the biggest power spike for like most AP champions. But our teammate does end up getting caught here, and I think I should have gone forward here more aggressively, but I ended up getting a little scared. I think in hindsight, if I flashed straight onto that Diana and one-shot her, it would have been really valuable. But to me, I was like, I don't know where the rest of the enemy are. My teammates aren't here, and so I was a bit scared. And so then I end up trying to camp here, but it turns out they had vision there, which surprised me for sure. And so then I end up getting caught and just dying there. So honestly, I was really surprised that they had a ward there and thought I'd be able to catch someone out. Honestly, I don't think it was a bad idea by me after someone got caught out to end up looking for that. But it was unfortunate that they actually had vision there, which, again, surprised me quite a bit because it was a pretty weird place to ward. And I don't really see the value in warding that place, but it ended up working well for them, so good on them for that. And then we end up getting caught, and the game is now obviously going very, very poorly. And so when you're in a situation like this, when you are behind, the main thing I'm looking for is to try to one-shot the enemy carry. So anyone on the enemy team who's really, really strong or who I can one-shot, that's kind of the main goal, because Diana can always turn a fight around by just being able to do something like that. Obviously, I know they're going to get the dragon here, but I'm just seeing if maybe I can at least get a pick on Orianna or something. Draven ends up getting the trade there, which is good for Draven because obviously he gets the cash in, so that's good. I believe you get the cash in even if you die first. I actually don't know for sure if that's how it works. Let me know if there's any Draven players in the comments if you know if a Draven gets the kill, but he kills the person after he just died, like that happened there. Does he still get like his passive? I'd imagine he does, but maybe he doesn't. I don't actually know. I don't really play Draven. But yeah, I've had some interesting games. I'm also trying to learn Warwick and Mbessa. I started playing those champions today. So I'm going to try to get you guys videos on those once I get a bit better on them. I'm new to them, so I've already been able to win lane on those champions really well, but playing them after lane, it has been, you know, harder. Also had some unlucky games, honestly, but trying to get better at those champions. I mean, they're very, very OP, so I definitely want to teach you guys like how to play those champions a bit. Notice again here how I use my first ability to dash onto the Swain, so then I can get the dash reset and dash straight onto the Lucian as well. That's a really nice thing that you can do, and that's like kind of one of the main skill points about Diana is playing around the dash resets. And so because we get that pick and because we're kind of behind, we want to play to flip an objective, and so notice how we just go to one-shot this Baron. So that was a really, really good call by us there to end up going for that, because we know, again, the way that we're going to possibly be able to come back is something like getting one pick at one-shotting Baron. Even if we do end up getting caught and losing that there because of the fact that the game is going pretty poorly, I'm pretty happy to do that. And then in hindsight here, I think I could have recalled a bit quicker, been a bit, you know, faster on my recall, and gone to top side and started pushing out the top side. But instead, we ended up looking for a possible pick here. I tried to ult here and kill him, but we just get him half HP. So it didn't quite work out there. And then, yeah, we kind of just overstay and don't get a ton of value here. So then I end up going bot side, trying to at least get that pushed out. But overall, our T-Rex does not get too much value off of this, mostly due to the fact that we kind of wasted a lot of that time. So a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then I'm obviously trying to get towards that crown, because hitting crown is, you know, a very, very large power spike. For sure. I mean, crown is really nice when you're ahead because you can't get caught out as easily. So that's definitely like the main value in it. I tried to flash because I thought I'd be able to get on the Lucian here. So that's unfortunate as well. Definitely some misplays there. Just barely not in range to kill him there. Still trying to look for it, and then I end up getting caught here. So definitely, again, over-aggression by me. Notice again how I played around the dash reset, though, and ended up still getting the kill on the Lucian. So you can see the insane damage there. And again, similar thing with that dash reset. You use it onto a front line to then be able to dash onto a back line after. You can extend your range and get a nice outplay like we did there. Obviously, still not great that we got caught, but at least we trade one with us, you know, take one with us. You can see, again, the damage is very, very absurd. And it looks like I go Riftmaker last year. I think I should have gone Lichbane. I think that would have been better. But Riftmaker is not bad either because they are pretty tanky. So either is really fine, honestly. Orianna, I don't really know what or that's Yasuo, not Orianna. But I don't know what Yasuo's doing up there. Overall, didn't get much value from the T-Rex. That's kind of another thing I might as well just mention now. Utilizing the T-Rex is something a lot of people struggle with. The main value of the T-Rex before 18 minutes is just to get gold. So if you use the first or third ability of the T-Rex to one-shot minions, because it one-shots minions, you get bonus gold from them. And you can do this by just walking. So just say you go mid-wave, you get the mid-wave. Walk straight to top, get a top wave. Maybe after that, go back to mid, get another mid-wave, or maybe then push a turret. but just constantly be looking for gold. Whereas a lot of people, they're just trying to push turrets and they don't do anything else with the T-Rex. But getting waves from it can actually be very valuable, because if you do it properly, you should typically get 2,000 to 4,000 gold from a T-Rex, minimum of 2,000, which pretty much always means you're getting a full item from the T-Rex. So I mean, it's just like really insane if you take it in the mid game. Say you get T-Rex around 12 to 15 minutes, you should just use it to get an item or gold. Usually don't use it to end the game, because you're probably not going to be able to unless you're really far ahead. So that's another thing people don't really do properly, and that the enemy didn't do, our teammate didn't do properly there. I overextend again here. This is kind of an issue by me. The issue here is that I'm the only one who matters on my team. Like, I'm very fed, everyone else is not fed, and I went in first. I just need to be more patient here and let my team do something. As much as, you know, you're going to see later, my team doesn't do anything once I realize that I need to let my team do something, but I can't be the one to engage initially here, because I'm really the only one with gold and who's really valuable. And so I kind of got to play more to at least let my team, you know, do something. We do end up trying to sneak the dragon here, so at least we do that. Get good burst damage on the drag, so at least there was that. And I think we even try to sneak the bear in here, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it works out. So you can see here again how we're just trying to one-shot objectives. Like, notice how fast we burst these objectives down. And so again, this is a good like situation to go for a risky play like that, because of the fact that we're down so much. We might as well try to make some type of risky play there. And obviously the enemy, our teammates, get caught, but we end up getting the T-Rex, so it's fine. What I should have done here is recalled and actually picked up the T-Rex myself and then used it to defend here. But you're going to see instead I don't, and I try to defend as Diana rather than as the T-Rex. And so that was definitely a mistake by me as well. So definitely some mistakes here that made the game hard, but also, you know, it was a pretty hard game regardless. And then we end up stasising the Camille ultimate, but I think I still end up getting caught here. At least trying to take the Swain with me. Again, that burst damage is absurd. You can see, and again, that's kind of the goal here, is to show you guys how insane the Diana rework is. So you can see the burst damage when you get fed on Diana is absolutely insane, even when, again, I kind of made that mistake there. And then I end up going for Tridents, because I only have enough gold to finish Trident, and I don't have enough gold to finish Riftmaker by the time Elder spawns. And because Elder is spawning, that's really the game breaker. So I just want to get to full build however I can. And obviously they have, you know, some shielding on their team, so Trident's still a pretty good item. So we end up going for that instead, just because it's going to be the best spike that we could get. I want my team to go bot. You can see me spam pinging it. They don't go bot. Very unfortunate that they don't, you know, push out, but it is what it is. And then here you're going to see how we end up kind of trying to let our team now make the decision, because I know I can't walk forward by myself here. And so I'm trying to get my team to do, you know, what I wanted to do. Instead, my Kale, he kind of just goes mid lane and, you know, does nothing. Very unfortunate. It was pretty frustrating at the time. And we just end up kind of getting, you know, just zoned off here, trying to go for the objective, trying to see if we can potentially catch someone. But I kind of have to wait for someone else to make a play and then maybe do something. Otherwise, we're not really going to be able to get much value, because I'm just, you know, going to get one shot because I don't have my stasis or my flash as well. And so I'm trying to get my team to walk up here, but again, like, they're not really walking up. So the T-Rex is just kind of going on the mid lane there rather than just giving us vision like the T-Rex could have been doing. And so then we end up still trying to pick the Camille there, but we end up missing our ultimate because I'm trying to run away while also ulting her. So then we get caught. Kind of an unfortunate situation, since we didn't really have a front line and Kale wasn't really, you know, using the T-Rex in the proper way. So we get caught out and we lose the game here. So again, the goal was kind of to show you guys how OP Diana is and, you know, the damage that you can have. But we did end up losing this game, a little unfortunate, and some misplays by myself as well. Let me know if you guys want to see potentially more losses as well. I definitely don't think it's a bad idea to sometimes show losses if it still shows maybe, like I said here, the champion that I want to show you guys, or, you know, still certain good things about the game, or like things to learn from, or other things like that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about the Diana rework. If you have any other champions you maybe want to see me talk about. Like I said, Warwick and Mbessa will be possibly trying to make a video on soon, and I'll see you guys in the next video.